Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Mommy's Minute. Today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make outdoor planters for this upcoming holiday season. They're super easy to make and budget friendly, of course, so let's get started. So the first planter I want to show you is a planter box. This one's on the side of my shed. I have an old window that I paved above the planter box. It's super cute and I like to decorate it for each season. So you want to start with putting foam in your planter box. This is going to hold everything in place. This is old foam that I used year after year, season after season, and it's still usable, so super budget friendly. You're also going to need some natural greenery, so I picked up some spruce and some pine. You're first going to start with adding your greenery. I like to add the spruce in the back just because it will stand tall and it's a great filler. And to add your greenery, all you're doing is just cutting smaller pieces of the spruce and you're sticking the branches down into the foam, and this is going to keep it in place. So you're going to continue adding this greenery until your planter is nice and full. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some pine. I'm just adding the pine to the front because this is going to hang over the planter box and really fill in the front and give it a little more contrast. Once you're happy with the amount of greenery and your planter looks full, you can then go ahead with the fun part, and that's decorating your planter. I'm going to start with adding these sparkly pine cones that I used in a previous planter. I always like to keep the decor because I always use it again, making it a budget-friendly option. Next, I'm going to add 3 bunches of berries, and this is going to bring out that Christmas red color. Now the decor that I'm adding are picks, so they're easily just inserted into the foam and they're going to stay there. You can add natural berries, natural pine cones by just using some twist ties and attaching it to some of the greenery. So I'm next going to add some bunches of red balls, and I'm going to cluster them together by using the twist ties. The twist ties were purchased at Dollarama for $1.75 for 2 rolls, so super budget friendly. So I'm going to take these ornaments and put them in clusters of 3, and I'm going to add them on either side of the planter. And you're just attaching the twist ties onto the greenery. Next, I'm going to add a pretty bow to the front of my planter. This is the red and black checkered plaid ribbon that's from Michael's Craft Store, and the bow I'm creating is called a pom-pom bow. If you want a step-by-step tutorial, go check out my channel. I have some tutorials on how to make these bows, and they're super easy to do. You just need your ribbon and your twist ties. So I attached my bow in the middle in between the 2 pine cones, and you're just going to use the twist ties to attach it to part of the greenery. So the last step is we're going to add some fairy lights. These ones have a timer on them, so they're perfect. I don't have to turn them on or off, and they have different settings as well. So to add your fairy lights, you're just taking them and starting at one end, wrapping them around the branches, and you're going to work your way all the way to the other end. And these fairy lights were quite long, so I was able to go back and forth a few times. And then once you got your lights in place, you can just tuck the box in the back so you can't see it. And I think this turned out gorgeous. So this is our first planter box. Let's move to the second. The second planter I'll be creating will be for my front door step. I'll be reusing the pot from the summer, and I'm also going to be reusing this green foam again. If you don't have the foam, you can use soil. It actually is a better option because it's quite heavy and it will keep the pot from falling over. If you're going to go with the foam, definitely put some rocks in the bottom. So the next step is you're going to collect your greenery. I'll be using some spruce and some long pine that I collected around the property. I also have some trimmings from our Christmas tree. I'm going to use them as well. So again, you always want to start with your greenery when adding it to your planters. I'll start with the spruce because again, I like putting this in the back. It's nice and tall and it also holds well in shape and height. So I'm just going to trim it off and I'm going to stick it into the foam to keep it in place. And you want your greenery nice and full. I'm also going to take the long pine and I'm going to have that in the front, and it kind of hangs down in the front, giving it some contrast. Once your planter is nice and full with your greenery, you then can go ahead and start decorating with some decor. I got some small birch branches. I'm just going to stick them into the middle, 2 different size lengths, and I'm just going to place them right into the foam, and that will be kind of that centerpiece. So here's what the planter looks like so far with the birch in the middle. The next step, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add another pom-pom bow. Again, if you're looking for the tutorial, I'll put it in the description box. This ribbon's purchased at Michael's Craft Store. It's wired and it's 2.5 inches wide. So I'm just going to attach it using some twist ties that I got at Dollarama, and I'm going to put it in the center front of the planter. Next, I'll be adding some holly berries. These ones were purchased at Dollarama on a stem, and I just cut them up into bunches. I am going to apply them using my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to put them kind of in the middle of this planter. Once my berries are in place, I'm going to add some of these pine cones. You can either attach them using twist ties. I'm using my hot glue gun. I find that works well. I'm also going to incorporate this decorative bird into my planter this year. I found it at Walmart. It comes with the red bells. I thought it was super cute. It does have a little clip on the bottom, and I'm just going to attach it to one of the greenery. You can secure it with some hot glue gun or some twist ties as well. The last step to my Christmas planter is I'll be adding some fairy lights. These are battery operated, and if you get the ones with the timer, you don't have to worry about turning them on and off each day. So to add them, I'm just starting at the very top of the birch and going all the way down, and then starting on the next birch tree as well. And I'm just adding them to the birch branches. I know it's really hard to see here because the sun's shining right into the camera. So once you're done twisting your lights around the branches, you can then go ahead and take the battery pack and tuck it into the back. I also use some twist ties just to keep it in place. And there you go. Planter number 2 is complete, and it turned out gorgeous. I've seen these sell at superstores for $40 plus, and you can make your own for under $10. Moving on to planter number 3, I'm going to create a hanging Christmas planter. This hanging pot I purchased at Dollarama for $4. You can use any hanging basket. If you had some hanging baskets over the summer, go ahead and reuse them. You can even reuse the soil. You just have to remove the flowers that you had in them. So the first step, I'm just going to remove the hanging part just so I have better access to the pot. I'm then going to fill my pot up with soil. This is going to keep all the greenery in place. It also adds weight to the planter. So the first step is you're going to add your greenery. So I'm going to take smaller branches of the spruce and the pine, and it's as easy as just placing them right into the soil, and that's all you have to do. So add as many branches as you can to make your planter look full. Once your planter is full and you have a variety of greenery, you can then go ahead and start decorating. I started with some red berries. These berries had stems, so I was able to just place them into the soil. You can also secure them with some twist ties or some hot glue. I'm then going to go ahead and add some red ornaments, and I'm just using my twist ties to keep them in place and secure them around some of the greenery. I'm going to go ahead and add a bow as well. I'm going to keep with the same red and black checkered plaid ribbon that I use with my other planters. I'm going to place the bow on the side, but you could add a nice big pom-pom bow to the middle of the planter as well. Have some tails hanging down. That would look really nice as well. And to finish off this hanging planter, I'm going to add the fairy lights again. These ones have the timer as well, and they're battery operated, so I won't have to worry about turning them on and off. I started with securing the fairy lights to the wire base of the hanging pot, and then I distributed it throughout the greenery. And that completes my holiday front door decor. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it inspires you. Please like and subscribe for more DIY fun.